This will be the 1v1 tier list, just for reference. And also I'm recording this on the 14th of August, so a day before Season 1 actually drops. So I'll definitely do another tier list to kind of portray the changes that were made in the new season. But I guess without stalling anymore, I guess we'll just get into it. So yeah, I'm just going to default with the tiers. I'm not calling them anything different. It's just everyone knows what they are. So let's just get into it. Yes. So Arya Stark is first. Now, she is classed as an expert level difficulty within the game for quite a good reason. She is very hard to play well and consistently well at high level, or just in your average game. But when she is played well, she is very good. And if you're playing against a good Arya Stark, like a really good Arya Stark, yeah, you'll probably think she needs a nerf, even though she doesn't. So, as this is a 1v1 tier list, not 2v2, I do think she is up there with some of the best. I don't think she's top 3, but I think A would be a good place to put her. Yeah, she's got good combos, decent abilities. When she's played really well, she can just bully you and just take you off the screen, especially at the top. So yeah, I'll put her in A. For the average player, yeah, she's probably lower, but if you take the time to learn her and her moves, she can be very good. So yeah, I'll leave her an A for now. Maybe we'll move it later, but we'll keep her an A for now. Bugs Bunny. Where would Bugs Bunny go? Yeah, obviously it's S tier. Yeah, he's basically the best in the game. You can tell a lot of love went into this character. I mean, a lot of love went into all the characters, but I think someone high up at Ready, is it First Player Games? I can't recall, but the studio behind this game, yeah, someone loves Bugs Bunny over there, because he has about 19 different moves that are just crazy. He has a good up air, good spike. I say good, it's great really. He has a rocket. He can shoot horizontally or vertically, and then it comes back down later. He has a safe, and then when the safe's broken, he gets an item. He can get items off the ground when he crouches. He can throw a pie. So yeah, he's just crazy. I think he needs. I don't want to see him be nerfed into the ground, because I think he's a really fun character, and I would like for him to stay a fun character. But yeah, he does need tweaking, I think. I think if other people receives buffs and he is tweaked, so nerfed slightly, I think that would help the game just overall, because he's just a menace in 1v1 and 2v2. But yeah, he obviously belongs in S. I don't think that's a shocker to anyone. So yeah, we'll just move on. Batman. God, we are getting some good characters off the start. Yeah. In 1v1s, Batman is probably the best. He's definitely my favourite to choose in 1v1s. And the reason for that is because it's Batarang, basically. And if you pair that with I can't remember the name of the perk, I think it's like I'll Take That or something like that. And basically every time you would hit someone who is debuffed, so they've been hit by the Batarang or an up air, anything that causes debuff, weakened in Batman's case, basically every time you hit them you gain 0.5 seconds off all his abilities that are currently recharging, so that's obviously very good. And yeah, it basically means you can get Smoke Bomb, a lot quicker, and the bomb as well, and Batarang as well if it is charging while hitting debuffed enemies. So yeah, really good perk to pair with Batman. I do think he's better than Bugs Bunny, in 1v1 specifically, mostly because of the Batarang, and it's a lot more consistent to hit someone with a Batarang in a 1v1 than it is the Safe or a Rocket, for example. So yeah, he's definitely, for me, the best when it comes to 1v1s, character wise. Next we have Finn. Finn being a free character is definitely, it's frustrating to play against, to be honest, and mostly because of his hit prioritization, his hitboxes. It's just insane. A lot of his moves are just ridiculous, especially his up air. He's relatively easy to play. Like he just, his sword attacks, I mean, it doesn't take that much skill to be a good Finn, or get consistent wins, especially in 1v1s. Yeah, he's just a menace. Not to mention his speed boost. You can get BMO, his gem. Yeah, he's just really good. As far as ranking goes in this tier list, is he better than Bugs Bunny? I don't think he's better than Batman, personally. I don't think there's too much difference, but I am going to put him above Bugs Bunny in 1v1s, and I guess the reason for that is, I touched on it a little bit before, but it's mainly because that it's just more consistent. Although Bugs Bunny is definitely not bad by any regards, but Finn is just so easy to do well with that, and his moves aren't really, rely on you playing somewhat smartly. They just kind of come out and hit them because you have hit prioritization, obviously. So yeah, Finn's definitely belongs in S tier. Yeah, I don't think there'll be too much debate in that. So yeah, Harley Quinn. I have played Harley Quinn a decent amount and played her quite a lot in 1v1s. I think she's good. She has great combos. So once you start getting hit by Harley, it'll probably go on for a while and do quite a lot of damage. Her bombs can be quite deadly, as well. She frequently gets ignite on you, so she can be a bit of a pain. She has the bat bomb. Yeah, she is quite a good singles character. Do I think she is good as the people we have already placed? I don't think so. I think she is worse than Arya Stark in singles, but as far as easy to play, the average player, Harley Quinn would definitely be above, but a good Arya, I think, would beat a good Harley Quinn, just because of the way Arya Stark plays, and I think she definitely does get, the devs definitely had it in mind that because she's an expert difficulty, because she's so hard to learn, that it is rewarded that you have took the time to learn her moveset. So I think she is probably stronger in singles than Harley Quinn. I would say that. So yeah, I guess we'll just leave it next to Arya for now. I guess she could move, and she probably will, because I do think quite a lot of these characters do belong in A, because they are quite well balanced, I think, for now, especially for a beta. So yeah, I guess we'll just move on to Jake. I've played him quite a few times in single. He is quite a popular pick. I've not used him. I've not used Jake. I've not unlocked him, but I have played against him quite a lot, and I have seen other people play him, so I do know his moveset. and he is annoying to play against. I think some of his moves are definitely very strong. Yeah, he can like deflect batarangs. When I've been playing Batman in single, he just deflects your batarang a lot of the time. So basically wastes your batarang for quite a while, does no damage to him, and it can hit you back. So he is quite a bad matchup for Batman, I would say. And especially I think it's his house when he's in midair, or the ship. I can't quite remember. Where he falls quite fast. He basically can't really take damage. And that's quite bad for a vertical killer such as Batman, because he's trying to get the up air, obviously. And yeah, Jake kind of counters him, to be honest, from what I've played. So as far as ranking on the tier list, I do think he's better than Harley Quinn, and it's quite difficult whether I'd rank them above Arya Stark or not. I don't think he's S tier, but I do think he's very good. It's so difficult because obviously the average person is going to do nothing with Arya Stark, including me, because I've not learned her at all. But it is difficult. I think I'll put Jake above. Yeah, I guess it's debatable. I can move him if I feel like it later, but I think a lot of his moves are good, are great even, to be honest. And he definitely does counter, to me, the best 1v1 character in the game. So I think it'd be kind of rude not to put him high A at least. So yeah, I'll leave him in high A for that. He's a very good character, and yeah, there's not much more to it. Garnet. I've not watched much Steven Universe, so I'm not really too familiar with this character and the TV show that she's in. But yeah, she's just not very good. She's okay. I think some of her moves are decent. She has that music buff, speed, and so she has armor on one of her main moves. She has a projectile, but I just don't think she's as strong as a lot of the roster. So she's quite a relatively simple character. She's recommended when you're on the character selection screen. So she's not hard to play, really. I think I'll put her in C for now. But that could move up or down just depending where, like, if there's no one near C or D and she's left there, maybe I'll move her up, maybe I'll move her down, I don't know, we'll see. But I think she's definitely, I think she needs a slight buff, and see how that goes. But yeah, she's definitely not someone I would consider picking in 1v1s if I wanted to consistently succeed. So yeah, we'll just leave her in C. I think she's okay, can be quite decent. Obviously you can do well with all the characters in the game if you're a good player and you put the time in to learn that character. But for me, she's just not as strong as the rest of the roster that we've placed. Rain Dog. So he's definitely more of a 2v2 character. He's basically designed around the main mode in this game that's pushed most by the studio behind the game. It was, so, and obviously we're ranking 1v1. He's not really a 1v1 character. I mean, he has projectiles, but they move quite slow, even with the perk. He has his fire. He has the beam, but again, that's pretty much for 2v2s. Obviously, it can damage if people cross it, but yeah, he has the lightning, which is pretty decent. But he has a lot of inputs. It takes quite hard to set up, and in 1v1s, no one's there to help distract or hold them back while you just do, set up and do your stuff. So yeah, he can still attack, and he's not just projectiles and the friendship beam or whatever. So you obviously can win him 1v1s, but yeah, he's definitely not a top pick for singles just because of his kit. It's not really built or tailored for 1v1s, and I think the devs know that. So yeah, it's fine for characters just not be 1v1 tailored, so that's fine. Yeah, he's probably D. He's probably the worst character for 1v1s. Yeah, I don't think many people disagree, so it is what it is. Next is Shaggy. Yeah, Shaggy is definitely good in singles. He has his Super Saiyan that he can do, and people love to do that. Whenever they can, rung people out, they get knocked near the top of the zone, they just pop it in because you can't really reach them. He has a good side special. He can throw his sandwich. He has good up air. I think he has armor on 1 or 2 of his moves. Yeah, overall he's just a good character, a solid character, very easy to use. I think he's quite cheap coin wise, and yeah, he's not got the most crazy moveset, but I don't think that really matters because he's just a well-rounded character, in my opinion. Now, in terms of placing him around the cast that I've already placed in singles, I do think he's better than Harley Quinn. Do I think he is better than Arya Stark in 1v1s? I'm gonna say again no. And again, I feel like you really do get rewarded for learning Arya Stark, especially in singles. And I do think the best Arya Stark in the world, would be the best Shaggy in the world. But yeah, I just think her kit is just more diverse, and she can just do more things, and get out of bad situations, break arm and stuff like that. I think she's just got a better kit. And if someone uses that well, yeah, I think they would beat Shaggy. But again, Shaggy is still a good singles pick. A lot of people like to abuse the side special, the sidekick. And yeah, he's just a strong character, well-rounded. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, I think he's fine. I don't think he needs buffs or nerfs. I think he's just fine where he is. Yeah, so I'll just leave that there. Superman. Yeah, Superman is very good in this game. I think rightfully so. I mean, he's Superman, so he's kind of got to be good, considering he's one of the most popular in this roster. So most of his moves have armor, which is quite strong. And I'm sure many know that armor is strong, but he also has ice breath, the laser eyes when he's in air. He can fly around. He can get early ring outs, and he's just overall a very strong character. I guess there's not much more to say. He's just a great character. The armor definitely just kind of carries him, along with his flying and grabbing them and just throwing off. Now, as far as ranking him, I don't think he's S tier. That might be debatable, but I just don't think, looking at the people in S tier, I don't think he's as good. I don't think he's far off, and I don't think he needs a buff. I definitely don't think he needs a nerf. So I would say he's better than Arya Stark. And I do think he's better than Jake. If I can move it. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd probably just put him top of A. I think he's close to S, but just not quite got the the expansive kit or the hit prioritization, or what some of the characters in the very, very top of the list have, basically. But yeah, the armor's very nice. He has very good moves. Can ring you out very early. So yeah, I think he deserves to be top A. Better than Arya Stark, better than Shaggy, better than Harley, better than Jake. Yeah, I think he's in a decent spot as far as balance goes. I just hope to see that people below him get, well, some of the people below him get buffs, not all of them. So yeah, it's just Superman. I think everyone knows how good he is. Very, very solid. Steven Universe, from the show that I've not watched much of. Yeah, I think singles is not that good, but I think that's also due to the fact that I've not really played against him too much. He is an expert level character, and I think he's just going to take time for the community to kind of understand his kit and play him well consistently. So I think he could move up a rank in the future, definitely. I mean, his kit is great. I think he's hard to execute well at this point in the game, this early on. And he's definitely more of a 2v2 guy. So he's kind of like Raindog in that respect, but I would say he's better than Raindog in 1v1s. And I would I put him above Garnet? That is difficult. He does have that watermelon Steven, that his kind of just his buddy that walks around with him, distracts you, opens you up for getting hit. He can put shields down. He can use his bubble shield. I'm gonna put him above Garnet in 1v1s, but I think that's interchangeable. Again, I've not played that many Steven Universes, but he has given me a hard time, I think once or twice. But yeah, I think more people need to buy him, more people need to play him, and just get used to him, and then we'll have a better idea of where exactly he is compared to the rest of the cast. I think he could go up in 1v1s and 2v2s. But yeah, we'll leave him there for now. I don't think he needs buffs or nerfs. I just think more people need to play him. And yeah, Taz. Yeah, after the nerf he received from to his tornado, which was by far his strongest move, it was not fun to go against. He's just kind of, he's just in the background. I rarely play against him, although he's like 1,500 coins. He was at Evo, surprisingly, and the person who played him did do quite well, but then again, they're some of the best players in the world, so they can make most people look good. But yeah, I think after that nerf, could he get a buff, a slight buff to help him out? I think he does. I think the devs should try and do that for this upcoming season. Maybe a patch after that. But yeah, I think he definitely needs a buff. Maybe not a major one, but a slight one, and then see how that goes. More people playing maybe. And yeah, when it comes to ranking him though, I don't think he's as good as Garnet, who has armor, projectile, and whatnot. And I don't think he's good as Steven Universe either. So he's definitely better than Raindog in 1v1s. I don't think that's too controversial. But yeah, I just think he's kind of in a weak spot in both modes, unfortunately. But yeah, I'd love to see a buff come to this guy, but we'll leave him in D. Yeah, he just needs love from the development team, and yeah, that's all there really is to it. Iron Giant. Yeah, so I've played a few Iron Giants in 1v1s and 2v2s, and they do give me a tough time most of the time when I'm playing them. Um, I think that comes down to like his um, when he spins the car around, that is deadly. When he grabs you, it's pretty deadly. His down air, pretty deadly. His cannonball. When he gets his bolts, he's pretty deadly. He has this like kind of effect that gives him like loads of poise. If you've played any of the Souls games before, and you kind of can't really get like knocked back or feel the effects of a hit really. So I do think he's quite strong. But then again, he does have one of the biggest hitbox in the game. He's very easy to hit. But and again, he is an expert. So have we seen his full potential be reached even by the best players? I'm not sure. And he's not too common, although I've played against him a few times. Now, when ranking him, I do think he is better in singles than these four, but I don't think he enters into A, mainly because of his hitbox. Maybe he'll move up. I think he could move up in the coming month or two. Just more people play him. The top players just really hone his moveset and his abilities. But yeah, I think a B is a nice place for him. He does give me a tough time, I can't lie. Some of his moves do a lot of knockback and a lot of damage, and when he has poise and it's a 1v1 and he's just smacking you with the car, taking you pretty much to the edge of the zone, and you've got to find your way back, it can be difficult. But yeah, we'll leave him in B for now. I think that's a decent place to put him. Tom and Jerry. So that Void has been playing this guy a lot. It's his main. The half of the team that won at Evo. Tom and Jerry are very good, extremely good, although very hard to play, and very hard to master. Because I've tried Tom and Jerry, I've played against Tom and Jerry, I know how hard he is to play consistently well, definitely, especially in 1v1s, because you don't have your teammate to kind of back you up and like keep them off you when you're trying to set down the trap or set up your Jerry, the tennis balls. There's a lot going on with his character, and he's so intricate, so many things he's got to think about. He's a very difficult character to consistently do well, like a few other characters in this list already placed. But yeah, once you do get the hang of Tom and Jerry and you continue to play him, he's just insane. I think he definitely belongs in S tier for me. He is on the same level as these. But do I think he needs a nerf? I actually do think Tom and Jerry needs a nerf, and the only reason I say he needs a nerf, he is extremely hard to play, don't get me wrong, and hard to master. But his frying pan, his up air and his spike are insane, whether it's off the platform or on it. It's insane. I think the knockback needs to be reduced. Maybe not majorly, but I've never not gone out when I've been hit by a frying pan, especially spike when I'm like somewhere like 80 or above, potentially. I can't quite recall exactly, but his frying pan, especially his spike on the platform, and you just fly up top and you're out. Not to mention off the platform, you're most likely going to die to a spike off platform, but his up air as well, like a lot of the time you'll have to go into the air and try and pressure him from above, but because of some of the moves that he's got to kind of control the ground, So yeah, I think that's the only area of nerf I would give to Tom and Jerry, because again, respect to anyone who is actually able to play Tom and Jerry well consistently and know all his moves and know the stuff he can do. So yeah, definitely S tier. I think he might be a bit better in 2v2s, or quite a decent amount better in 2v2s. So obviously I'll do that video later, probably tomorrow or sometime in the future, sometime soon. But yeah, he definitely belongs in S tier for me. Slight nerfs to his pan. But yeah, I think he's a very cool character. A lot of love went into him. Again, same as Bugs Bunny, same with a lot of the cast. But yeah, S tier, he kind of belongs there. He's a very, very strong character when people know what they're doing with him. Now to Velma. Yeah, Velma, I think, occupied pretty much every team at Evo, bar like a few teams, including the Cat and Void, who won. So I don't think it's going to come as a surprise to anyone who's been watching Multiverse, playing Multiverse, watching Evo, looking at other people's tier lists, that Velma in this game, especially in 2v2s, is just insane. Not only is she easy to play, like easy to pick up, but she's just genuinely insane. Her move sets, the police car, her spike, like, she's just insane in pretty much every way possible. She definitely does need a nerf, but this is 1v1s, so I cannot go off 2v2s and how good she is there. I still think she's good in 1v1s. But is she S tier? I don't think so in 1v1s, because again, you don't have you don't have the another person helping you out, keeping them off you and whatnot. But I do think she's A tier. Now, where exactly in A tier? I'd probably put her in between Arya and Shaggy. I think she's a bit better than Shaggy, but she's not as good as Arya in 1v1s. Mostly because what I've discussed already, she's kind of more of a 2v2, sit back and just fire a bunch of stuff, and it will connect and do damage and knock back, and yeah, more of a 2v2 tailored for me. But again, she can still do very well in 1v1s. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that character. Wonder Woman, the second character that was in the winning team at Evo. So Nakat played Wonder Woman. There wasn't that many Wonder Womans at Evo, from what I recall. Don't think there was a lot of them. A lot of people thought she was like kind of okay, but Nakat proved them all wrong. He did very, very, very well, and performed extremely well. Showed how good her kit was, especially in 2s. Shielding both of them, cleansing any effects that are on them. Her whip being great kill potential, especially if you have the whip of Hephaestus. I think that's what the special perk is called. The one basically where the tip of the whip basically makes it so it just fires you off the map if you're like 90 or 90 or above damage and you're somewhat near the end of the box area. So yeah, her spike is very good when it connects, because the hitbox on this is so bad and it is really hard to connect. A lot of the time you'll just miss. You can get reversed on quite easily when you go for a spike with Wonder Woman, although she does have that good up special that acts as a shield as well. So that's good. She has good combos. Maybe not as good as some of the others, but she still does have good combos. She can break armor, so she pretty much counters Superman in a lot of ways, and anyone else who has armor, so Garnet on one of her moves. So yeah, she's a very well-rounded character. She's fast, got decent abilities. I think the whip could recharge a bit faster, in my opinion. I do forget about it quite a lot. It is quite hard to connect, and then you've got to wait quite a while for it to come back. So maybe a slight buff for Wonder Woman. That may be hard to come to grips with some people, because like, oh, she was in the winning team at EVO, that means she's the best character. Not exactly. It was basically because Nakat is a very good player. They played it very well. The team comp was good. But in 1v1s for Wonder Woman, her abilities, I do think she needs a slight buff. I think, especially on the whip recharge time, I think that'd be, and maybe the hitbox improved a little bit on the whip. But yeah, that's probably the only way I would change her. Now, where would I put Wonder Woman? I think she's A. She's definitely not S, and she's definitely not B, so she belongs in A. I think she is better than Velma in 1v1s, but not as good as Arya Stark. And yeah, she's just kind of a solid, well-rounded character, but there are better out there, with better potential to do better. But yeah, she's recommended on the character selection screen. She's relatively easy, good combos, decent abilities. She can break armor, so she's pretty well-rounded, to be honest. But yeah, she's nothing amazing. She's just a good, honest character, basically. Not too much to talk about Wonder Woman. Kind of middle of the pack in A. Good character. You can definitely have success in 1v1s and 2v2s with this character. So I guess we'll move on to LeBron James. LeBron James. I have not played LeBron James. For note, I have played it against him quite a decent amount in 1v1s and 2v2s. I think he is quite good. Especially his down air, I think it is, where there's like a triple rubble effect that kind of comes across horizontally along the ground. That can just send you just out of the game. It's very strong. His combos are great. A lot of his hits can just destroy you. And yeah, I think he's quite a cool character, the way they've kind of designed his ball throw and stuff like that. But obviously not playing him. I have played against him. A lot of pro players are trying to learn him because I think they know the possibility of LeBron James and how good he could be if you know him inside out. LeBron James. As far as ranking LeBron James, I would probably put him in A tier. I think he's better than Velma and better than Wonder Woman. Yeah, I think his possibility is and what he could be with more, maybe at one more month goes by, I think we'll see a lot more LeBron James. And yeah, I think he's very strong. But we'll see where he goes. And now that's all the characters that are available today. But we do know Rick and Morty are coming, hence why they're here in this tier list. And I guess I can just do where I think they will go. Obviously, I've not played them, not seen them. I've avoided the leaks that have came out, if you don't know, on Twitter, I think YouTube as well. Mainly Rick that got leaked, and a lot of his moves. I don't believe Morty got leaked in any way. But yeah, I've avoided that stuff. Now, where I think it's also been confirmed that they're both expert level difficulty. Confirmed by Tony on Twitter. If you don't know, he's the kind of the head of this game. He's quite vocal on Twitter, which is great to see from a developer. Most of them aren't communicating, but Tony is, so that's great to see. And I hope he continues to do it throughout the life of this game, because it is really, Really great to see. But yeah, he has been hyping up Morty quite a lot, and I think he is quite proud and put a lot of love into Morty, especially with a lot of his moves. Again, they're both experts, so we should expect quite an in-depth moveset and abilities, so I'm quite hyped for that. Obviously, because they are expert, they'll both cost 3k, so there's that. So now, where do I think Morty's going to be? Now, going off the way Tony is hyped up this character, I think I'm going to put him in S tier. It kind of sounds like Bugs Bunny, but in human form. The way, like, the kind of the love that's going into Morty, and the sort of the moves he will do and abilities he'll have. I think they'll be really good. I think his combos will be good. I think his spike will be. I think he'll be a very good character at launch. Will he be better than Tom and Jerry? I think so. Will he be better than Bugs Bunny? I think so. And will he be better than Finn? I think so. Actually, we're doing 1v1s. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to stick with it. I think he'll probably be top 3 in 1v1s at his launch. I don't know why, but I have a feeling Morty is going to be insane. Especially the way Tony's been hyping him up. I'm sure he'll have a lot of cool moves. And obviously with him being a new character, a lot of people aren't going to know how to go against him, so that could work in his favour as well when early tier lists come out. I will do a tier list sometime next week, obviously when I've tried the character, played against him, and yeah, I'll definitely make a video on that, a tier list on that, and the balance changes as well, so a lot of these could move. And just for reference again, I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but I'm filming this on the 14th of August, so a day before all these changes come out and whatnot. So yeah, I'll definitely make another tier list then, and maybe some supporting videos. But now I guess we're going to Rick, my favourite of the duo. To be honest, he's a lot more funny than Morty, but yeah, that doesn't really factor into how good he is in this platform fighter. So where do I think Rick is going to be? I do think he's going to be worse than Morty for some reason. I do think he's going to be good though. I don't think he's going to be S tier, but I think he's going to be high A. I think he's going to be about there. Again, this is complete guesses. They could be both C, for example, but it's just guessing. I could have just not included them in the video, but I just thought added viewpoints on where they could be. Maybe I'm completely wrong, or maybe I'm completely right, but I guess we'll see in the next video I do. I hope you did enjoy this video. I hope it wasn't too controversial for anyone watching. I'm not really too sure how this is lined up with a lot of other pro players, average players, content creators, whatever. Well, I guess they're all content creators considering they made tier lists, but I'm not too sure how this is lined up with their 1v1 tier list. But this is kind of my personal experiences, my game time. Some YouTube videos have influenced this, I guess. Watching Evo has influenced it. But yeah, I do enjoy making these tier lists. Enjoyed this video and hope to see you in future videos. You can like if you enjoyed the video. I don't like many videos, but if you're feeling it, same with subscribing. If you like this sort of content, I will be uploading more multiverse content in the future. No doubt more tier lists if you're into tier lists and kind of want to get my view on where I think people are in the current kind of meta and the balance of changes that recently happened. So yeah, I'll stop just complete waffling, and yeah, I guess I'll end the video. So see you in the next one. Bye bye.